root vegetables are great to work with. I mean, everybody loves it. We love potatoes, right? Sweet potatoes play a big role, but one of my favorites to put in this is the celery root, and that's this big monster that you see here. How many times you walk by that in the grocery store and said, I don't know exactly what it is or who's eating it, but I'm not buying it? Well, this is really one of my favorites. So, take a look at it. How do you clean it up? Well, I'm gonna have to slice it off and get it, just get right down to the base of it, take the skin off it, and that's actually gonna happen with all of these. It's gonna happen with the parsnips, it's gonna happen with the sweet potatoes, and then it's also gonna happen with the straight up russet, okay? Here's the mandolin, probably one of the best tools that you have in the kitchen. You can adjust the height on the deck like this that adjusts the size of the slice. Really nice, easy to wash. So you put it on top of a bowl like this, grab whatever veggies you're gonna start working with, and go. All right, check that out. All of them sliced up. The celery root, the sweet potato, the parsnip, and the russet all done. About a cup or so of heavy cream. We'll get a little bit of salt and some fresh cracked black. Get in, let's see, how much do I have here? Yeah, not quite all of this. Gorgonzola. There you go. Oh, it smells dynamite already. A little tarragon, a little anise flavor in there. Goes great with these root vegetables. Give that a little sprinkle. Okay. And we get a little chicken stock down. Oh, I love these tabs. There we go. Okay, not too much. There we go. And then the last thing, which you know I gotta do, is hit a little bit of minced garlic in there. And I don't use the press that often, but it seems that when I really want to get it small and quick like this, that'll work out perfect. Let me just give it one more. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm gonna cook all these down. Now, why did I put them all together? Why are they all the same size? Well, because I want them to cook evenly, and the idea is here is I can kind of mix this whole thing up, throw it into this baking dish, cover it with some tin foil, 400 degrees for about an hour. I pull this out, it's gonna be bubbly, hot, and delicious. Still sizzling. Right on there. So we got sweet potatoes, we've got the parsley, we got sweet potatoes, we got celery root, we've got the whole thing, the parsnips going inside of there. Oh, on point.
My chicken and veggie skillet, and I'm using some chicken thighs, some root veggies I had in the fridge. I got some rainbow carrots, I got parsnips. I'm using beets and onions. I am slicing my vegetables into bite-sized pieces, and I've also peeled all of my veggies as well. The next thing I'm going to slice is a red onion. And a red onion adds more onion flavor, so a big punch of onion flavor, which I really like. I'm gonna add some olive oil to my bowl, and I'm gonna season my root vegetables with my house seasoning. That's some salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of paprika. Goes well with anything. Give it a toss. So I have 4 chicken thighs here. I'm gonna hit it with a little olive oil. So I've just added some Dijon mustard to the skin of my chicken thighs. Not only is it gonna help kind of like tenderize the chicken and give it a little tangy flavor, but it's also gonna help the seasoning stick right on top of that. Spread that Dijon mustard on both sides. And now I'm just gonna add my house seasoning. I'm gonna grab my root vegetables, my chicken. I'm gonna add a little oil to my hot skillet. I'm just gonna sear both sides of my chicken skin side down first, and then the chicken is gonna cook through in the oven. So I've had this skillet for a very long time, so it's well seasoned. All right, so now it's time to flip my chicken thighs and let the backside sear. Look at that nice, pretty golden brown color. The cast iron just kind of absorbs flavor, especially when you're like frying something. Oh my gosh, all the oils and the seasonings and all of the brown bits that kind of get stuck in it. That's why you never should use soap in your cast iron skillet, especially when cleaning. And if you want to clean your skillet, make sure you do it right after cooking and use hot water with a stiff brush. Then use a towel to dry. Never let your cast iron sit in water, sit in soap, just ruin it. I'm gonna remove the chicken now and then add in my veggies. All right, now I'm gonna add my root veggies. So I like to saute my veggies in the same skillet right before I put it in the oven because it kind of helps the cooking process. Once you get a nice sear on it, cook it down just a little bit, it'll cook faster in the oven. Now I'm going to add my chicken back to my skillet, kind of nestle it in there. And now I have some fresh herbs that I like to add in there as well. I'm gonna add some thyme, a little rosemary, tarragon. It smells like heaven in here right now. All right, so I'm going to roast this at 400 degrees until like the juices in the chicken run clear and the internal temperature reaches about 165. While that roasts in the oven, I am gonna make a garlic butter sauce to pour on top. I'm gonna add about 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm gonna squeeze the juice of half of this lemon, so about 1 tablespoon. Now I'm gonna add some minced garlic, a little salt, a little black pepper, some dry sherry. Now, if you're making this for kids and you don't necessarily want them to have any alcohol, that's fine, even though most of it will cook out. But if you wanna make this for your children, you can, by all means, skip the sherry. I'm gonna roughly chop some fresh parsley. All right, so my butter sauce is done, and so is my chicken. Come on, y'all. Come on, look at that. That is good cooking right there. And it's just gorgeous. Oh yeah, get all that garlic in there. I'm smelling all of those fresh herbs. And then all that garlic does is just kind of mix in with some of those natural juices and creates a sauce for the chicken. Man, that chicken is nice and juicy and super flavorful with that house seasoning. And then that garlic lemon butter just creates the sauce that goes so well on the chicken. And don't get me started on these root veggies. Beets are so sweet. And the parsnip, oh my gosh. And I'm getting like a mouthful of garlic, which I really enjoy because I love garlic. This is such a solid dish to make.
This is a celery root, right? Celeriac, it's also called. But what it does is give you a beautiful essence of celery flavor in there. You treat it like a tuber or a potato, even though it's not a tuber. You peel it, you chunk it up, and it's a great kind of low-carb, low-starch alternative to your potato. I think this here celery root will take center stage in 2021. That is my prediction, and we're always right here on The Kitchen.
Always.
And when it's cooked and blended, it turns into a rich, sweet puree, the perfect topping for my shepherd's pie with celery root puree.
Of course.
Right.
And as you see, once we peel it and cube it, it kind of looks like a potato.
Does.
Right? We're gonna throw it in a nice cast iron enamel pot here, and we're gonna add some good chicken stock, some water, and we're gonna bring it to a gentle simmer. We're gonna start cold, bring it up to a simmer. Do not boil this, right? You just wanna make sure you gently cook it all the way through. Okay, so what we did, right, we got it to a point where we cooked it through till it's fork tender. We drained most of the liquid out. We left a cup of liquid to help kind of jumpstart that puree process. We got a mirepoix going here, onions, carrots, and celery, and a little garlic. This is gonna be the basis of our shepherd's pie, right? And next, we're gonna add our meat, right? Because we all know the difference between a shepherd's and a cottage pie, right? Lamb, shepherd's pie. Beef, cottage pie.
Correct.
But we're using gobble gobble turkey.
So what are we calling it?
I don't know. We had this
something.
discussion for days. We're like, I'm going with shepherd's pie with celery root puree, just because I don't know. It's turkey is maybe closer to a lamb.
Maybe
than a
cottage
beef.
pie.
Maybe cottage pie, but that's beef. All right, we're gonna hit this up, break it up a little bit in that mirepoix, get some color on there, cook that turkey through. We got our oven at 400 because we are gonna bake it, so want to take it kind of right to the edge.
Yeah, but Jeff, you know, it's important to note that celery root is not actually the root of celery, even though it's in the same family. Celery root is grown just for the root. Little knowledge.
Sonny, couldn't have said it better myself. So we are sauteing this while that's cooking. Let's puree our celery root, because that is gonna be the top of this cottage shepherd's pie. We're gonna add a little bit of stock if necessary, but I think we're good.
I like that you're not making a ton of dishes. Shepherd's pie, cottage pie.
One dish.
They can be really elaborate and make a lot of dishes. Puree, turkey, mixed.
So great.
That looks delicious.
Doesn't it look good? Really easy.
Oh.
I add 2 tablespoons of butter in here just to
Oh, of
kind of give
course.
it a little more creamy. And you can either put in this or get an aluminum, disposable, pan to put it in. This is looking good. We just kind of want to cook it. So almost pink. It's going to finish up in the oven. I want to retain that juiciness to it. We're going to make a little quick roux to help thicken it up. Ooh. So, of course, a couple tablespoons of flour. Cook this through. We're going to add our stock. Nothing like a shepherd's pie that you scoop up and it just runs all over your plate. Looks good, right? We cooked it right to the edge. That turkey's just a little less pink. It's going to finish in the oven. Added some stock in there to help give it some juiciness. Now we can start layering it. Okay. I like a little more height. So I'm using something a little smaller dimension.
Smells great.
Smells great. Next is an even layer of these frozen peas, right?
Oh, you put them on one layer. Why is that, Jeff?
I don't know. I'm visualizing it, right? Like I want it in, almost a nicely composed, layered shepherd's cottage apartment.
Village.
Yeah, village pie.
Village
I
pie.
think it's a
Village pie that's a good name too.
I think village pie is it. You guys hit it.
Thank you, Katie. I also seasoned everything. Seasoned the turkey, seasoned this. And we're gonna make this so pretty.
You know what I would do this with, Jeff? I'm just gonna come up. I'm gonna blow your mind.
Uh-oh.
Next year on Thanksgiving, I'm gonna cook just the breast. I'm gonna take the thighs of the turkey, and I'm gonna grind this to make it as a side dish.
Boom! That's a great idea.
Good idea.
Interesting.
Look at that, beautiful little swirlies, little.
We have
valley.
ignition.
400 degrees, 35 minutes. I have one ready to go. You don't have to wait that long, Jeffers. The first ever, world's greatest village pie. With
Yeah,
celery
baby.
root.
All right, Jeff. That looks delicious.
Village pie. We all voted on that? Good.
Yeah, we did. The only
Here we
vote that
go.
counts is our vote.
I'm trying it.
Look how beautiful that is.
I like the layer of peas in there.
beautiful.
Very dramatic.
This could be a lasagna moment.
Guys, you're not missing the lamb. You're not missing the beef. You're not missing the potatoes.
That's because you got a village.
We got a village, and
A
it takes a
flavor.
village to build the flavors. And this village, my friend, is Village of the Year. Your mouth thinks whipped potatoes, but it gives it a whole nother level of sweet, earthy flavor from that celery root. The pop of those frozen peas on that one layer didn't get muddled in there. Dark ground turkey is so good, no matter what village you live in. You guys, try this 2021. You heard it here first.
Tell me something that's more timeless than roasted chicken with carrots and potatoes. I'm starting with 4 chicken quarters, so both the leg and the thigh, bone in, skin on. Get the best chicken you can find. Because this is such a simple dish, this is really all about making chicken the best it can be. And I'm only seasoning with kosher salt and black pepper. Before I get this onto my baking sheet, I'm gonna set up little stages for the chickens. So I've got 4 lemon slices and 4 leeks, and I'll use these to prop up the chicken. And my pan is lined with some foil because eventually I will wanna catch all of the chicken juices and use those for a jus at the end. And then I'll prop the chicken onto their bed of lemon and leeks. All right, let me wash my hands. I'll stick these in the oven now at 450 degrees for 25 minutes while I make a garlic butter to brush on. I'll start by peeling and smashing 2 large cloves of garlic. I don't have to worry about chopping them up since I'm just using the garlic to infuse the butter. I'll melt half a stick of butter, toss in the garlic, and just allow this to sizzle for a few minutes so that the butter can take on that garlic flavor. I am smelling this garlic. I'm gonna get the chicken out of the oven. The chicken isn't fully cooked yet, but it's already starting to smell good and the skin is already looking crisp. I'll brush the chicken all over with the garlic butter. Okay, now with all of the juices and the butter that's fallen down onto the pan, I'll use those to toss my carrots in. I've got 4 carrots here, and I'll just roll them around in the chicken juices and the excess butter that's fallen to the pan. And this is perfect timing now. This will go back into the oven now at 375 for about 20 minutes until the chicken is golden brown and cooked through and the carrots are tender. Now we'll get going on the mashed potatoes. I've already boiled my potatoes. This is 2 pounds of Yukon Gold potatoes. Yukon Golds are the butteriest, creamiest potatoes. And I've riced them so they're fluffy. And now I'll pour in a bunch of dairy to make them creamy and delicious. I'll add a 1/4 cup of whole milk, 1 cup of heavy cream, and 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And then I'll season with some kosher salt. I'll start with 3/4 teaspoon and then add more as I go in case it needs it. Then instead of black pepper, I'm using white pepper so that the potatoes stay pure and white. I'll stir this around just to allow the butter to melt and everything to get heated through. Potatoes are done. I think I'm smelling the chicken. Hello. I can practically see my reflection in this glossy chicken. It smells heavenly. My last step for this dish is I'm gonna make a jus to have a saucy element on the bottom of the plate. It'll add more flavor and richness. So I'll spoon off the juices that have accumulated at the bottom of the pan and spoon it into a saucepan. Okay. Since there is a lot of fat in these drippings, I'll cut it with some chicken stock. These drippings are gonna have the lemon and the leek flavor too. So I'll just swirl this around. Okay, I'll plate this up. I'll start with the potatoes. Not too much, not too little. Add some jus. Nestle this chicken right in. Some carrots. Okay, I'm definitely gonna eat this leek too. And I'll finish with some flaky salt.
Cheesy, are you gonna make my dreams come true?
I am going to make your dreams come true for this particular day. I don't know what your dreams are tomorrow, but today's your lucky day. I'm making Hachis Parmentier. Doesn't it sound like something?
What does it mean?
It sounds mysterious, right?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Parmentier, Alex, why don't you give the Parmentier history? I'll give the Hachis.
Auguste Parmentier discovered the potato. Hachis, chopped or ground
like
meat,
hash.
and it's like a cottage pie.
I only made
Gourmet.
this, learned this, and made this in kitchens when you were the person that had to do staff meal. What does that mean? Like every day, someone, and usually it's someone who has some dexterity in the kitchen. They don't give it to everybody, but there's probably 5 or 6 people that do staff meal. What does that mean? Like if you're Monday, you're doing it Monday. So on Saturday, you got to plan what are you going to do for the staff. And usually it's you go into the walk-ins and you get all the scraps. You're not buying anything. That key is
Perfect hash.
you can't buy anything. All right, so what do we have here? First of all, we have a cast iron pan, which I love to use simply because it's a one-pan plan. When it goes on the table on a trivet, it stays warm the entire time. This must be warm to hot all the time. This is a leftover-ish kind of dish, but I'm changing it just because I know Iris. This is for Iris, actually. Wow.
Everything in my world is for Iris,
We can't get Iris to eat vegetables, so I said it happens, but this is a good way. So in this, I have carrots, onions, celery. I put some parsnip because it's sweet.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm just sauteing this, really get it soft. And Sonny, you're gonna do the potato. You're on the Parmentier side.
Okay,
So, potatoes.
Oh, I love potatoes.
This is
okay. So
one of
are we
my-
gonna do this first, or
Yes,
do you need
so
your parsley first?
Here we have the cooked potatoes.
Yeah.
Very, very soft. Nothing worse than an undercooked potato. You cannot cook it medium rare and then cook it medium well. Once it's not cooked, it stays not cooked. Okay, she's gonna do this in the
Yeah, I'm
food
gonna
mill.
run
One of my favorite tools. I think this is one of those tools that it's so old it's new. When you do tomato or puree of something, it really gets all the essence out without emulsifying it. If you put it in a blender, it's a different mouthfeel. I love this. So you're gonna get those in there hot. They're gonna stay warm, and you're gonna chop some parsley.
Yes, chef.
Over to my beautiful veggies here. I have some dried thyme, some fresh thyme,
If you don't have this, you can use a ricer too. I use a
Of
ricer
course.
sometimes at home.
but don't put it in a food
No,
processor.
don't do
'cause
that.
it gets- you have
Like
rubber.
wallpaper glue.
Yeah. And some tomato paste.
So you use dried thyme
Yeah.
and fresh thyme?
Yeah, I mean,
Double time.
double time. I like that, bro.
You put garlic in there too, I saw,
I did
Jeff?
a good amount of garlic. And I usually, if I was making this a staff meal, I would put everything dried because the key is not to spend money. So this is a dish of leftovers, and it's seriously leftovers, right? Okay, to this, we're gonna add our beef. This is, you know what this is, Jeff?
Chuck, baby, Chuck.
It's chuck.
It smells so
There's
good
not enough
right
white
now.
dots in there. It feels like a 1585
Yeah, it does. Maybe
situation.
even a 1090.
I don't know if that's Chuck.
That's chuck. So how do you do
White.
this? I use another little tool.
Little
Potato masher.
Yes.
The potato tool.
You know how you're making sausage and you just had to brown the sausage for the orecchiette with broccoli rabe? You take it out of the skin. It's not cooperating because it's big nuggets. This is what I use.
You know, it's like we all make shepherd's pie, cottage pie. It's time for the Hachis Parmentier to have its moment.
I think it is. I think you brought it to the surface.
All right, so you see, it's not. This is a critical part. You've got to get color here.
Gotta get-
You got to get the water out of the meat, and you got to get the flavor of everything. Now, I haven't put any salt in. Why is that, Jeff?
Because you don't like salt anymore because of your heart condition.
Because the beef won't brown as much if you put the salt
Yeah,
in
the
first.
moisture comes
Just
out.
like mushrooms,
Yeah.
right? You got to make sure that you have some caramelization there. The water's out. And once you see it starting and it's caramelizing, then at the very end, there's no reason to salt right now, other than if you really wanted to salt onions to get the onion flavor out, to get that onion juice, that's okay. But this beef here is gonna boil first, and then it's gonna fry.
Boy.
So when you see steam, this isn't smoke, this is steam. When you see that, you know it's nowhere near ready yet. We're gonna add the red wine. Now, she's saying, well, I can't serve that to Ira, she's 3.
No, you cook it off.
Cook it out.
Cooks off. At this point, we're gonna have a little salt and pepper, not too much. We're gonna continue simmering this down until it gets just dry enough. Potato time. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hot potato.
Hot potato.
A little
of
bit
this?
of butter.
All of it?
What?
2 sticks?
Yeah.
2 sticks?
Double sticks?
Fold it in.
And I see more fat
Katie, you
over
work
there,
out.
too.
It's okay.
Yeah, fold it in and salt and pepper.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
the milk is on the side. It's
Got
warm.
everything.
Must be warm. But
Yeah.
do not, mistake is always putting milk in first is a mistake.
You want me to
wanna-
everything at once?
No, you want to fold the butter in first and then everything else.
You gotta melt that butter.
Yes, you do. If not, you will have a kind of a mess. You'll see in a minute. So I'm not gonna put too much in unless I really need to, but I am gonna add a few more ingredients you might think that are a bit odd.
It's good that you're holding back.
I am
Yeah.
holding
Yeah,
back.
I'm really proud of you.
I'm holding back. And I'm gonna put into this
Oh,
sour cream, a couple of egg yolks. Can I have
there you
that
go.
fork?
Just the yolks, right? You don't
Just
want
the
that.
yolks.
So the yolks will give it a nice color.
And flavor and mouthfeel.
By the way, sour cream mixed with egg yolks is actually called a liaison.
A liaison.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really important. You see what is critical. The butter's melted. How about some parsley? Why not? Lots of it.
It's like a
How about some
very
Parmesan
dangerous
cheese?
liaison.
Pretty
Hey,
darn
now.
good.
Parmesan cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
throw it
not?
in.
We're gonna save a little for something else, a little something, something at the end. Now, what do I have here? My meat into this red wine vinegar. It's really important to have a little acid in the Hachis Parmentier because this is a rich dish. Now, are we ready for the combination?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. Wow.
Okay, so I have a little game. A variety of forms of cottage pies exist around the world.
Yes.
Right.
So you are going to identify the country of origin for the specific dish I'm giving you.
Ooh, this
All
is-
Hachis and their cousins.
Okay.
Hachis cousins.
So
this is fun.
shepherd's pie originates in what country?
England.
England.
I don't know,
Great
Scotland.
Britain.
Ireland,
Britannia.
right?
Britannia.
I say England.
And the answer is Ireland.
Like that makes it potatoes. Gotta have them spuds.
That's the Hashi queen over here. This dish runs deep. Okay, cottage pie.
England.
England?
England.
Scotland.
Scotland?
Cottage. England.
England?
I'll rock Scotland with you.
The answer is England.
Hey, Geoffrey.
I'm a Hashi 2 for 2.
Okay, an empadome.
Empadome.
Ooh,
Oh, that's gotta be
Empadome.
Mexico.
Don't like spell it.
Mexico.
China.
Philippines.
Can I change my answer to
Thailand.
Ecuador? Argentina.
Let's hear it, Alex.
Let's
Come
hear
on.
it.
Portugal.
That was
of
my
course,
third.
Portugal.
That was my third
Okay,
one.
I like
That
I
was
said that
Makes
Tuesday.
sense.
Okay, you see our potato?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some melted butter on top.
Of course you are.
Oh. This is a low-calorie dish.
And I'm gonna sprinkle just a bit of Parmesan cheese.
Sure.
Do it.
Well, the egg yolk, I mean, here you're really using the egg yolk so to bind the potatoes and then make them more golden brown.
Are you ready? Iris is
I'm
hungry.
ready.
Into a 375-degree oven. It's gotta be at least 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And then in this cast iron thing, it is gonna stay hot.
It's gonna be
Okay?
bubbling.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what do we have here?
I'm already thinking, Geoffrey, for Iris, I might have to leave that parsley out because
Ooh, she will.
there'll be some serious investigation.
Wow.
Come on now. Hashi Pami, whatever.
Hashi Parmentier.
There you go,
Jeff. Hey. Oh.
This is gorgeous.
Cheese.
You done with Hashi P?
It's a great meal.
You know me.
I was gonna say, this is like a dinner party worthy meal.
I
You
think-
could put that out with a green salad and some
Sunday.
crusty bread, and
Sunday.
everybody'd be thrilled.
Frisee salad on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Sign
You
the
know-
pain.
And a great bottle of red wine.
You know what?
Okay.
Dare I say, this would be good for like game day stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Great.
crowd
Make it
pleaser.
ahead.
Come
That's,
on now.
that's the mountain climber version
Oh my
there.
heavens.
Yeah.
Look at that.
There it
That
is.
is.
C'est magnifique.
Oh, right on top.
okay,
there. How you
GZ.
do it?
Keep
Right
it
on
topper.
top.
Well,
Oh.
that's how you do family meal. You
This is
just
family meal.
Load
It's
it up.
no garnishing cuteness for the front of house. We just trying to get it in.
I want some of the like crusty bite of potato on top.
It's like when you got the Michelin judges coming, and this is what you want to serve your crew.
You know,
They're going to be either that or maybe-
energized and ready to go.
Wow.
Jeffrey, you've got like some short order diner cook vibes right now.
Threw it out there, GZ.
Look at that.
What's going on?
Wow.
Obviously, you need a red wine.
I love the sweetness from the parsnips.
I hope your daughter loves this.
Oh, even if she doesn't, I'm having this just for me.
But it's a good story to tell her.
Yes, exactly.
She can understand.
Someday she will really appreciate this. She will watch this and know that her Uncle GZ was looking out for her. Hopefully that's a time when she's eating everything.
Trust me, with you in restaurants, she's going to be eating everything.
It is so good. This dish is just so comforting.
Oh, so good.
I love
you
it.
Like it.
GZ, I need a hug.
Bring us together.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy I could help feed
Geoffrey.
people.
A very veggie soup. So I've got a pot with some butter, and I actually heated it until it got to the brown stage. And I'm gonna add some onions. And then I have a bowl full of root veggies that I peeled and chopped. Carrots, parsnips, turnips, and rutabagas. And then some ginger and garlic, whole garlic cloves. And then I'm gonna stir these around just to coat them. I'm not gonna have to cook them at this stage. I just wanna kind of get the veggies coated in that delicious brown butter mixture. Sprinkle some salt and pepper. Perfect, and now I'm gonna add the broth. I've got 2 big honkin' cartons of chicken broth. You can also use veggie broth if you wanna keep it truly vegetarian. 2 spices. I've got some allspice and ground coriander, sprig of thyme. Stir all of this together. All right, now I'm just gonna bring it to a quick boil and then I'll turn it down to a simmer, put the lid on and let it cook for 20 minutes until the vegetables are totally soft. Okay, the soup has been simmering. It's just about ready to puree, but first I'm gonna fry some shallots that I'm gonna use to serve over the top of the soup. So I've just got some vegetable oil and very thinly sliced shallots. I peeled the shallots and sliced them. And now I'm just gonna fry them in vegetable oil until they're golden brown, and then I'll take them out of the oil and drain them on a paper towel. Look at these beautiful fried shallots. Absolutely incredible topper for soup. All those vegetables have been cooking away, and I'm glad I did that because I'm gonna pull out the thyme. It has done its job. So I'm gonna turn off the stove and I'm gonna puree the soup. Now, you don't have to puree it, you can keep it pretty chunky, but in the fall, I just love pureed vegetable soups. In the fall, I just love any soup, to be honest. And look at the color of this soup now. So pretty.
That's so pretty.
And look, I love this. Every now and then you get like a chunk of carrot that got missed. But it's kind of like a little treasure hunt that way. And this soup is pretty rich and filling, so a little goes a long way. Okay, so speaking of garnish, I'm gonna get some of these beautiful shallots. Take a look, Paige. And the great thing about shallots is they're so light and like thin and lightweight that they just kind of hover on top. And then I've got some beautiful parsley. Alrighty, very veggie soup with fried shallots on top. A few more would be nice.
I like to make things that are just warm and familiar and make people feel really good. So, in that vein, I'm making roasted winter vegetables for TR. The key to roasting vegetables is you want to make sure you have big chunks of vegetables because when they roast, they sort of shrink down a little bit. So, I have lots of carrots. I'm going to mix them all in this sheet pan together. This is a butternut squash. It's one of my favorite vegetables. It's sort of tough, you'll see on the inside. And what I've done is I've peeled it just like that all the way around and then cut it in half and cut out the seeds and then chopped it in big cubes. So I've already got one done, which is all I need. So that's just gonna go right on the sheet pan with the carrots. Okay, the next thing is sweet potatoes. Somehow sweet potatoes and yams always get confused, but what you find here is always sweet potatoes. Yams are more of a yellow and a little sort of starchier. And the next thing is parsnips. So if you haven't seen a parsnip, this is it. Looks like a carrot. It's not orange, obviously, it's white, but it's really, I just think they're really delicious. And they're sort of sweet the way carrots are sweet. So you can cut them in half like that in big dices. But I've got it already peeled and diced. So it's just going to go on the sheet pan. How easy is that? Just cutting and chopping. And now what I'm going to do, I'll get them ready for TR to roast in the oven by pouring olive oil. Lots of salt. Remember, vegetables really use up the salt, so you want to make sure it's well seasoned. And freshly ground pepper. Right on top. It's a really simple vegetable because there's so many different kinds. It's also really flavorful. Okay, and then I'm just going to toss them together with my hands. So TR's just going to put this in the oven with a baked Virginia ham, and I'd say his friends are going to be really impressed. And I'm the only one who's going to know how easy it was. It's roasted winter vegetables. Ta-da! How's that?
Looks great.
Usually, I roast them at a high temperature, like 425 for about 25 or 30 minutes. But since you have one oven and the ham is in there at 350, you're going to roast it at 350 for 45 minutes, and they'll be perfect. Okay, so you want to pop it in the oven? Okay.
I am making my roasted carrots with carrot top pesto. And I love this technique because it's root to stem or nose to tail cooking, and it cuts down on the waste.
Nice.
Which we love. The thing about carrot tops is they can vary from carrot to carrot, so you got to kind of give them a little taste. I just cut them off, keep the carrots separate, and then I just pick the tops. I don't really want too much of that stem. Sometimes they can be a little bit bitter. So if you're making this pesto, you just have to taste and kind of adjust. Maybe a little extra honey or a little pepper if you need it, right? So we just stem those tops, and we'll deal with those in a second. For the carrots themselves, I leave a little bit of that on, especially in summer and spring when the carrots are tender. A little bit of olive oil to start, right? And that way, everything else that you put on there will stick. Right? I've got between 12 and 14 carrots here, and I'm gonna load it with 2 teaspoons of just sweet curry powder.
Whoa. Ooh, oh, I love this recipe already. Everything about it, I'm loving.
Yeah, I mean, the minute you put the curry powder on the carrots, they just turn into something else, right?
And it doesn't look like you peeled them either.
No. Pepper, right on there, right?
Kindred spirits, Alex.
Yes.
These are one thing put outside in the grill when it's nice hot flame, just like this.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
See, it's so funny. I only think oven, but I would think they'd be really cool.
Burn
just
them, you
low
burn
heat,
them.
you burn them.
You burn them. And you let them cook on the slow after, but you gotta burn them first. They're so great.
So I'm gonna roast these in the oven at 375 for 15 to 20 minutes until they're cooked through. And in the last like 2 minutes of cooking, we're gonna put a little brown sugar and pop them back in the oven so the brown sugar doesn't burn.
Alex, great idea putting that brown sugar on there. It's gonna get all sweet and caramelized.
So here are some that are cooled.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you can smell it, right?
I want one now.
That. And then a little pesto with that. Even though a food processor chops everything up, I find the best use of it is to get everything a little bit ready before you even start chopping. So this is a cup of basil leaves, which I'm gonna add in. And you really need the basil to kind of balance the bitterness of the carrot tops. This is about almost a cup of carrot tops, 3/4 of a cup, just layered in there. Always a pinch of salt, preferably coarse salt to help get everything going. 1/2 cup of walnuts. So underrated, walnuts. Yep. 3 tablespoons of olive oil and a tablespoon of honey.
So, Alex, what do you think the carrot top taste is like with the basil and everything? How's that work?
To me, it's super grassy, the carrot tops. And it's almost like the carrots miss their tops. By the way, big on the pulsing. And it may look a little bit herby, maybe a little dry. Don't be afraid to add a little bit of water.
Oh.
A couple tablespoons. Really, really underrated and cheap ingredient, water.
I'm really into this water in the pesto. I didn't know about that.
So underrated. Touch more olive oil just to bring it up.
Because pesto can be so heavy. There's so much oil in it. That's a great, great
You know, if
tip.
you don't have walnuts, I'm getting into using breadcrumbs instead of nuts.
Really?
Really, I love the mouthfeel of it. It's really interesting.
You mean that kind of sandiness, like a like a toasted panko, or what?
It's different. It's really different.
Great.
All right, so what do you guys like to pesto?
I love a pistachio pesto with pasta. It's off the charts delicious.
I'm like an arugula with sun-dried tomatoes, but like a real hearty arugula. It's peppery.
Big one.
Balance it out with the little sun-dried tomatoes for sweetness.
The Papa Bear
and then make it hot.
The big arugula.
Yeah, like a little Calabrian chili in there.
Oh, wow.
I know that this may come as a shock to you, but I love kale pesto.
Oh,
no. I can't. What about you, Sonny?
Listen, my favorite pesto is collard green pesto. One year I was growing collards in my garden, and I had so many, I just said, let me pesto them. Delicious. But instead of pine nuts, I use pecans, which made sense to me because collard greens always remind me of North Carolina, and pecans are big there.
Oh, I love that.
Wow.
I just season this up a little bit. I leave the pesto like this. When I am just about to serve it, or, you know, right before, then I add the acid. A little bit of apple cider vinegar, might throw a little on the carrots. Not before. Keep it vibrant green, and when you're ready to serve, just give it a dash of vinegar.
Because the acid will make it less green, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Less verdant.
Kills the color. I also just feel like when the acid is added fresh and it doesn't have time to sit, in this case, it just tastes better.
It's like a squeeze of lemon, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you could really add lemon here, but I kind of like, I like a little apple cider or
Here's the dolloper.
classic distilled white vinegar would be really good. Something really punchy. It's not, you know, it's not a delicate moment for rice wine right now. And I like to mix them a little bit just to drag any last bit. And then you literally can just lay them.
This is a beautiful dish.
So pretty.
Little tic-tac-toe, little 1972 vibes in there.
Yeah, I like that.
A little bit more on top just to let people know that there is no yogurt or cumin on this dish.
No fresh mint.
Well, Katie has the mint so perfect with the eggplant, I thought. And you use those carrot tops. You know, you feel guilty when you bring your carrots home and you just cut and throw away. And in fact, a lot of farmers, they have just a big bag of tops. You can just ask them for the tops.
A lot of them give them to the animals, you know, and it's a really good, makes good compost also.
Is your hamster?
My hamster, I was
Bopper?
going to say that. I want to bring him up again, but Bopper just eats those like crazy. The stems that you didn't throw away, by the way.
Well, Bopper's gonna have to wait in line because Mama's hungry. I'm doing the GZ gather up.
You got to do that. I'm telling you, it's the way to live life.
Geoffrey makes, if you don't know this about him, he's a big maker of the perfect bite, which I love. And that's when you know food is really an act of love, right?
Can't wait to taste this.
You need the walnuts and the honey to bring that grassy carrot taste out in the tops. And it just makes sense together. I mean, it's not like anybody would ever say, why did you put this together? You put it together, you use the whole ingredient. And in this time of year, such a great move. Carrots, tender, sweet enough with the brown sugar.
A really good juicer goes a long way. And I'll tell you something, you could take all that pulp. There's a lot you can do with the pulp. Sometimes I've even taken when we do the carrots and the celery. You can take that, you can mix it into a sauce. But right now, I have got a nice about 4 cups of fantastic beet juice. And what we're talking about is it's not the pasteurized stuff that you buy in the store. Don't get me wrong, that's good. But that right there is fantastic. All those natural enzymes, dynamite. Okay, a little bit more in the beet world. So now I've got some beets. These are all organic beets, by the way. Now I'm gonna take these beets and roast them off, and these are gonna go into this risotto. This is super simple. I do this all the time. Matter of fact, even if I walk into the market or at the farmer's market and I see really beautiful beets, I'll just get them, even if I don't have anything to make with them. And the great thing about it is you have them, you roast them off, hold them in the fridge. A little more foil than I need. Hold them in the fridge, and then add them to a salad, add them to a dish. A lot of times people don't think about beets being in like a risotto, but they play well with others. Okay, extra virgin olive oil. Okay. Some salt, adding some flavor right to the beets. A little cracked black pepper. Nice big sprig of rosemary, just gonna sit right in there. And because we're adding flavor to this, this is kind of like the meat of the dish in this risotto, or the garnish, call it what you will. So we're gonna get a little bit of garlic in there, rough chop it. Oven's at 350. You drop that in, and like I said, just do it. The oven's already hot. Just do it, get in there, start these beets. Oh, The key is to get this sealed up really good so they'll steam a little bit. Okay, so locking that down. Roll up the end. But really, about any time, if you come and search my fridge, come on by, you'll find that I've got roasted beets in there. Okay, this into the oven. There we go. That's going. Now let's talk about getting into the risotto. Here we're gonna make a really nice risotto. Not a regular risotto, it's gonna be a beet risotto. Starting off with a nice heavy bottom pan, extra virgin olive oil and some shallots, making a little shallot oil, dropping in some really nice arborio rice, about 2 cups. Letting that sit there just to where it starts to toast. Warming up, vegetable stock. And I'm gonna add the beet juice to it right now. So this is sitting here ready to go. So this is sitting here ready to go when it's time to start adding that in. I don't wanna wait for it. Beautiful beet juice, come on. And for everybody that's sitting at home right now going, I'm gonna change the channel because I don't like beets, do me a favor. I don't take you down the path. I'm not gonna do you wrong on this one. You will love this. The color is gonna be amazing. Kids will love this. Okay, so that's going. Getting a nice little toast on that. This has to be done in process. There's got to be a step and an order in which this is done. And the next one is to do the garlic. I'm just going to get a little bit of garlic. Actually, I'll put a little bit more. Get a little bit of garlic, and I'm adding it in right now because my next step after I add the garlic in is going to be stopping the garlic cooking process. If the garlic continues to cook on too much, what happens? Exactly, it burns, it becomes brown, it becomes bitter. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just at the right spot to add the garlic in, let it get nice and just start to turn a little translucent, nice and fragrant, and then boom, I'm gonna stop the cooking process with, exactly, a little red wine. Beets, red wine, go together. A little chopped garlic, right in the pan, low heat, not screaming hot right now, just toasting it off. Mix that in, maybe give it a little more heat. Just getting fragrant. I got some wine ready to go. Of course, some of my wine that I make, the Hunt Ride wine. This is a big, robust, there's a lot of flavor going on with the beets. So I'll do a little bit of the Old Vine Zin. So here's the deal. Just watching for that garlic to turn. The reason I add the wine now is there's no other competing liquid in here. So if I add the wine in and I want to burn off some of that alcohol flavor, it's easier to do it when there's no competing liquid. It'll just be the evaporation of the alcohol in the wine taking place. So it looks like the garlic's pretty far. The rice is nice and toasted. That's the sound we want. Right about a cup, okay? Oh, it smells awesome. Garlic and red wine coming together. All right, so cook that out a little bit. And you see this process? It's just a moving it, pushing it, moving it, pushing it. And this is breaking down the rice a little bit and really creating that creaminess. You'll see people cheat on risotto. Well, they'll jump right into it and then just go like this and stir it and let it come up and the rice will cook and then they'll pour some cream in or they'll put a bunch of cheese in there more than they really need and it's just kind of a faux creaminess. That's a real creaminess. Now, I've got this warm stock and the warm beet juice, evaporated off the wine, drop in a few ladles. Look at that. Look at that, huh? Look at that beautiful color coming together. You'd never thought you'd see it, huh? This is what risotto takes. I'm telling you something. I tell people all the time, risotto is not go check your email dish. You've got to sit here. See how it starts to dry out just a little bit right there? Time to add another little ladle full of the stock, okay? So you got that veggie stock and the beet juice, just continuing to build flavor, continuing to stir it. This is what it really takes to make fantastic, but you'll notice the difference. Stirring the risotto all the time and not stirring the risotto all the time, you'll notice the difference. I love risotto. Usually has to have like something big, kind of, you know, naming it, kind of giving it some flavor base. What better than beets? Nah, don't give me beets taste. They taste dirty. No, if you do beets the right way, they come out fantastic. So what I've got here is a little veggie stock. I juiced some beets, some organic beets, and now I'm just slowly adding it to my risotto as I work it here. And in the risotto, I got a little shallot and some garlic, and I deglazed it with a little red wine at the very beginning. But now it's just this process of just working the risotto, just moving it around, breaking it down, building the creaminess, low heat. Fantastic. So this is the beet, it's cooled down, still a little bit warm, but when I move it with my hand over this dark towel, gotta be a dark towel, you can learn this one the hard way, it just takes the skins right off, drop the beet, and there's the skins coming off of that. Watch this when you wash it though, okay? There's gonna be a lot going on there. So get the skins, get the foil, get this out of my way. The risotto is cooked down incredibly well. I gotta add a little bit to it, but let me just chop these up real quick. Taking the tops off. Nice rustic cut to this. Nice big pieces. This is, like I said, kind of the meat of the dish. I take the bottoms off of this. The bottom and the top if it's really firm. Look at that. Take that little piece where it started. Same with this. Try to get all those skins off because the skins can kind of be a little unpleasant when you see them mixed inside the dish, okay? Big pieces that don't break apart. Okay. Now, take these purple hands. I knew it would happen. At some point in time, I knew I was gonna get purple hands. Drop these in. Let me get in a little bit of butter. Definitely, you're making risotto, you gotta have some butter. So we'll put a little bit of butter. Fortunately, that went in nice and easy. And this is the key, a little pecorino. Nice and salty, maybe about a half cup there. I'll stir this up. I got some chives for some garnish here in a second. Don't wanna beat those beets up too much. I can't believe I just said that. Don't wanna beat them up too much. And look at that. Just stirring in the cheese and the butter, we're good to go.
I'm making my beef and rutabaga hand pies. I make a dough, add the filling, and then whip up an easy jalapeno ketchup for dunking. To get started on my crust, I'll add 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour to my food processor, so it'll be extra doughy and good. I'll add a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of kosher salt, and those are all my dry ingredients, and I'll pulse to combine. This looks great. I have 12 tablespoons of butter, which is cold and cubed. I also have an egg, and then I'm gonna get 1/2 cup of the coldest water that my tap will give me. To the water, I'm gonna add the egg yolk, and I'm gonna reserve the egg white for my egg wash later on. I'll add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I'll stir this up. I'll add the butter directly to my food processor. I'll get my lid on and then pulse until the butter is the size of small peas. And as I pulse, I'm gonna drizzle in the wet ingredients and continue on pulsing until the dough comes together. Oh yeah. This dough is looking great. I'll form my dough into a big log, and that'll help me divide it up into individual portions for the hand pies when I shape them. All right, let me grab my plastic wrap. I'll wrap this up and then stick it in the refrigerator while I make my filling. The filling for these pies is just that, filling. And the best part about it is that you don't have to cook it before adding it to the center. I start with 12 ounces of cubed sirloin steak in my bowl. I'll add a diced russet potato, 1/2 an onion, a few carrots for color and sweetness, and lastly, 1 rutabaga, which is quintessential pasty filling, and it adds loads of earthiness. I'll just peel off the skin and then chop it up. Now I'll season this with salt and pepper, and I'm also gonna add some fresh thyme, which will give these pies some herbiness. I'll strip the leaves right off of the stem and sprinkle these in, and I'll mix my filling all together. My filling is done, I'll grab my dough, and then I'll put the pies together. My dough's had a chance to chill, and now I'll unwrap it and then cut it into 6 pieces. I'll dust my board with my flour so that the dough doesn't stick. And then I'm gonna roll my dough out into an oval that's about 8 inches long by 6 inches wide. Each of these pies is gonna get a cup of filling, which is gonna seem like a lot, but it cooks down in the oven. Next, I'll brush the edges with egg wash, and this will help seal in the filling. I don't want any of this good stuff escaping. And now I'll tuck this filling in. So with one hand, I'm gonna fold the top dough over, and then with my other hand, I'm gonna try to keep the filling all together. I'm gonna roll the outer edge on top of itself. And then to make it pretty, I just like putting in a scalloped edge. I'll add 2 slits in the top for some vents to release the steam, and that's it. Look how cute. It's like a smile. Okay, I'll keep on forming my beef hand pies with the same crimped crust. All tucked in tight, no filling escaping here. I'll finish these off with some egg wash before I stick them in the oven. I'll bake these at 400 degrees for 15 minutes and then reduce the temperature to 350 for another 30 minutes until they're deep golden brown. My beef and rutabaga hand pies are almost ready, and they'd be really good as is, but I'm gonna make a simple jalapeno ketchup for maximum flavor dunkage. I'll just add a cup of ketchup to my bowl, some pickled jalapenos with a splash of brine for heat, a few dashes of Worcestershire sauce, and mix it up. Oh, that's spicy. That's gonna go perfect with the hand pies. And speaking of which, I'm gonna check on them now. Look at this perfect golden brown color, and they smell amazing. I have to taste one. Oh yes. Let me dunk in that ketchup. It's so buttery and flavorful.
So the next high-low dish I'm making is I'm gonna take a simple baked potato and I'm gonna do a crust with herbs and lemon zest. And then I'm gonna fill it with whipped feta. Okay. I'm gonna take these 4 huge potatoes, put them on the sheet pan. Okay. Then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pierce them with a fork, because otherwise you'll have potatoes exploding all over your oven, which isn't pretty. Not to mention, you wouldn't have dinner. Okay, now I'm gonna make an herb and lemon rub that I'm gonna put on the potatoes, and it makes them taste so good. So first I need rosemary. I'm gonna just chop it first. I need about a tablespoon. Just put it right in the food processor. And now 2 teaspoons of thyme leaves, the zest of 1 lemon, and lots of salt. I'm using a tablespoon of fleur de sel or sea salt. It's got kind of a briny flavor rather than being too sharp and salty. And just give that a pulse so it gets really finely chopped. Okay. Boy, does this smell good. The thing I'm gonna do is rub all the potatoes in olive oil and then roll them around in this mixture so it adheres to the outside of it, and then bake them. And that really gets the flavor into it. So, a little olive oil. You don't have to measure it. Just kind of rub it on. Make sure each potato is covered. Olive oil actually does 3 things. Keeps the skin tender, which is good when you're eating it. It flavors the potato, but it also allows the lemon and all the herbs to adhere to it. Lots of flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna take each one and just roll it around in the herbs and the salt and rosemary. Now, how good does that look? That look great. Just enough on each one to give it lots of flavor. Okay, into the oven, 400 degrees for 60 minutes, and they're gonna be really tender, and I'm gonna make a great feta filling for them. So the potatoes are almost done. I'm gonna make some whipped feta. I'm gonna slit the potatoes and pile it inside. So first I need 6 ounces of Greek feta. I'm gonna crumble it up. You can use French feta, which is a little milder, but I kind of like the tanginess of Greek feta. I've got 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, 1/3 cup of olive oil, 2 ounces of cream cheese. It has to be room temperature, otherwise it won't whip well. Salt and pepper. Very simple potato, but it really takes it to another level. And just give it a blitz in the food processor. I want it nice and creamy. How good an idea was this? Okay, I think the potatoes are done. They smell so great. Lemon and herbs and salt. Who wouldn't like that? Okay, I'm just gonna slit them open. Ooh, these are really hot. Open it a little bit. Put some of the whipped feta inside. Just pile it up. This is not a boring potato. Maybe some fresh chives. Okay, I'm gonna finish this one. I'm gonna do the rest, and I'm gonna put them on a plate. These are gonna be really good. Now, almost everybody likes a baked potato, but trust me, if you make these, people are gonna say they're the best baked potatoes they've ever had.
The guys are having a big morning of working cattle over on Tim's ranch today, and I'm making them a rib-stickin' ranch-style lunch. They are gonna be hungry when they're finished. To go with the ribs, I'm making twice-baked potato casserole. It's pretty much everything that's wonderful about twice-baked potatoes, but in casserole form. Now, of course, twice-baked potatoes in any form have to have bacon, so I fried up a bunch, and I just need to chop it up. You know, you can use store-bought bacon bits for twice-baked potatoes, but I think nothing is like bacon you fry yourself, particularly when you're cooking for cowboys. They detect things like this. They might run me out of town if they find out I used artificial bacon pieces. Okay, I got the bacon all chopped. I'll let that sit for a sec. Now I've got to add a lot of butter to this casserole because I baked a lot of potatoes. So I've got 4 sticks of softened butter. I want it to be really, really soft. Then when the warm potato mixture goes in, it melts really quickly. Okay, and 4. And a whole container of sour cream. Everyone likes sour cream with potatoes, let's face it. Okay, now for the potatoes. I've got 16 big baking potatoes, and I rubbed them in a little bit of vegetable oil and then baked them at 400 for about an hour. They're nice and tender, very hot. So I'll just cut it in half. Ooh, nice and hot. And I'll use a little towel so it won't be too hot in my hands. And I like to use just a big tablespoon to slowly scrape the insides out. Okay, that's the last potato scooped, and I've got nice little flecks of potato skin all throughout. So now I'll season all of this. It's a lot of potato, so it needs a good amount of salt, and of course, plenty of black pepper. And then I also like to add some seasoned salt. It just adds a few different flavors, a little bit of extra saltiness. All right, that looks great. Now I'll throw in all of this delicious bacon. Okay, now the green onions go in. I also grated a lot of cheese, a couple of cups of cheddar jack, and I'll sprinkle that over the top. And then I definitely need some milk in here so that everything will mix together well. So I'll just pour in a couple of cups of milk. All right, now I just need to break out my muscles. I've got a potato masher, and I'll just go right in and smush all this together. This takes a little while. There are a lot of ingredients in here. The potatoes don't have to be completely smooth, but I don't want there to be any huge chunks. Okay, looks perfect. Get the extra off. Now I'm gonna put all of this into a big foil container. I think it'll all fit. Whenever I'm making twice-baked potatoes for a crowd, it can get a little much to refill the skins after the mixture is done. This is the perfect solution. Just put it into a big pan, warm it up, and it's ready to serve. This looks amazing. There is not a cowboy on the ranch or a kid on the ranch that won't go crazy for this. Okay, now I'll just smooth out the surface. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is a great dish to make if you're having a big party because you can actually make it the day ahead and pop it in the oven when you're ready. I wasn't that organized. I did it the same day. Okay, now I'm gonna sprinkle more cheese over the top. The potato mixture has plenty inside, but I like for the top to have a nice layer of melted cheese. This is cheddar jack, but you can use all cheddar, all jack, or you could do pepper jack. That's always delicious too. Okay, now this just needs to go back into the oven for about 30 minutes until it's warmed through. Cheesy twice-baked potato casserole.